Everybody, I want to talk to you today about product stories. What's your product story? Here's the interesting thing. I've been having a lot of conversations recently with different companies about how they can better sell their product. They've invented a product and then they call me and say, hey, Kathy, we need a story to sell this product. And that's actually backwards. Let me explain. In design-centered thinking and human-centered design, you might have heard those terms. It's all about empathy mapping. It starts with the story. Story is what drives product. So in a typical company, it will go like this. Product design, now throw it to the marketing department, the branding department, for them to figure out how to tell the story to sell the product. But in a human-centered design oriented company, it's all about understanding the story that your customer tells themselves about their problem and using that story to drive design. Your story comes first, because if you know what kind of problems that your customers are dealing with, you know what you need to build and you know what you need to design. Then your story's done. So when the product is done, you know the story about how it's going to make your customer's life better. And that's super important because too many companies, especially I'm here in Silicon Valley, oh my gosh, all around me, there's too many companies focusing on features. It's not about your features. It's not about your features. Your features may be cool. Your features may be awesome. They may be all kinds of techno savvy, but your features don't matter. Your product story is only as good as it solves a customer issue and it makes their life better. So the story is, how does your product make your customer's life better, professionally and personally? And you've got to be able to say it with confidence and anecdotally in a way that makes sense. So the story needs to make their life better and richer by taking away a pain, a headache, enabling an opportunity, making their personal life better, so maybe their confidence, their credibility goes up professionally because of the work that you've done. Personally, you have taken such a nightmare headache away from them, they can finally ease up and do other work. Because the story that you tell yourself about what your customer's issue is has everything to do with how you solve that problem. I'm going to say it again, it's really important. How you define a problem, the story of that problem is everything because it drives how you solve that problem. If you say your customer story is X, well, that's what you're solving for. But what if your customer story is actually Y? And that's why it's so important to get the right story. And I want to share a brief story with you. So several years ago, I was contacted by a tech company. And they had been following me for a while. They brought me in and they were having a little bit of a problem selling their software. So they were selling a SaaS-based solution that helps accountants and CFOs and financial types working within companies close the books faster. So imagine going from 3 weeks every month, having your team close the books, to 1 week or less a month. Now you've freed up resources to go be strategic and focus on saving the company money elsewhere. But that's not the story the company was telling. This company was positioning their product as the alternative and the panacea for Excel. Excel is broken, they would say. But here's the thing. When I asked them how things were going, they said not so great because the facts showed that most of their customers didn't think Excel was broken. So here's the problem. You're selling a product that solves Excel being broken, and your customers are saying, that's not a problem for us. It's not painful enough. It's not broken enough. Your story about the product does not align with the story that your customer is telling themselves about their need. You have what I call a story gap. Now some gaps are cool. The Gap has cool clothes. I think they're cute. David Letterman's tooth gap, that's pretty cool. But a story gap, not so much, because that's where sales fall into the gap. So what you need to do is bring your story in alignment with the story that your customer is telling themselves about their problem. And that's why understanding the real story of your customer's need and their problem is critical. It's absolutely critical, not just as an after-the-fact exercise, but that information goes into the way that you develop that product. So you know when that product is done, what problem you're solving. That's your story. So instead of thinking development first, story after, flip it. Story first. Story first every time. Because then you can reduce that gap that causes so much pain for so many companies. If you have that problem, let me know. Reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I hope you enjoy this video. We're going to be doing it every week. We're going to be doing a new LinkedIn video. You can also catch me on my Yes and Brand show on my Facebook page, Keeping It Human, facebook.com/keepingithuman. That's my company name, where I'm going to be doing every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm in Silicon Valley, so it's Pacific time. I'm going to be bringing you a new video. We do a lot of interviews with different people about the creative process, the story process, and really kind of helping you think differently about what it means to be a storytelling company. Until then, have a great, great day, everybody. Thanks. Take care.